Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Arrow TV. This week we're going to take you back to the year 2008 when I first started filming my hunts. We're going to take you on 3 deer hunts. Filming yourself just isn't that easy, and pretty much all of our footage, 99% of it, is self-filmed. We do not have a cameraman in the tree with us. Every once in a while we get lucky and have somebody with us, but for the most part it's all self-filmed. Having a cameraman in the tree with you and getting a hunt on film is hard enough. Filming yourself just makes it that much more difficult. If you're filming yourself for your own scrapbook, it's a different story. But if you're dedicated to getting the shot and everything on film, it's difficult. It puts a lot of pressure on the hunter at the same time. And during the next couple of months, we'll be having an episode that is just dedicated to filming yourself, the struggles that we've gone through, things that have helped us, things that have hurt us. So, and my first year filming wasn't the worst for me. It's actually my second year. My second year took a big toll on me. Put a lot of pressure on me, a lot of stress. I rushed a lot of shots that I shouldn't have just to get it all on film and make sure I was capturing it on film. But I learned a lot from it. So this first hunt we're going to take you on is actually a second deer I filmed. I believe it was November 12th. The rut was just kicking in good. I was in one of my favorite rut stands. It's actually a miss on a deer that kicked myself in the butt for missing, and it was one of those things where if I think I would have been a little more patient in hindsight, I would have had a lot closer shot and a lot better shot. So check this out. It's November 12th. Temperatures are perfect. It's about 38 degrees. We got a slight south-southwest wind. Everything looks really good here tonight. I haven't set the stand since opening morning. It's generally pretty good during the rut, especially for calling. I've called a lot of bucks in to this stand. So hopefully it all works out for us. If not, we got something to look forward to tomorrow. The old Terry Ellsworth from Pennsylvania will be here. Hopefully we can get him on some deer. Be cool to at least see him get one. Or by the way his day was going today, it sounded like just for him to see one. So stick with us. Maybe things will work out. This is one of my favorite stands during the rut. You've got a CRP field and a crop field between 2 wood lots. And the bucks love to cruise through here looking for does during the rut. I've got my decoy out in front of me in the open where they can see it. I'm about 15 yards off of the fence line into the CRP in a tree. About 1:30 in the afternoon, I hear a really deep grunt about 200 yards to my right in the CRP coming through it. I look over and here's a big buck coming across it. He gets out on the field edge, sees my decoy, and starts coming right down to me. Now this is where filming yourself can get tricky and why the camera is panned out wide. You never know how fast the deer is going to come in or where it's going to stop or where you can stop it. So I thought this animal was actually going to jump back in the pasture and go back north where he come from. And in hindsight, after looking at it, I could have been a little more patient. I think he would have jumped the fence and actually come south right in front of me and probably offered me about an 8-yard shot. The wind was blowing straight from my decoy to me, and I think he would have come in that CRP and tried to get downwind of my decoy. But you know, that's hindsight, and like they say, hindsight's 20/20, and you can't go back and do it over. Next, we're going to take you on the third hunt that I ever filmed. It was getting late in the rut. It was like 2 days before our shotgun season. I had a doe come in on me, waited several minutes. She was actually fed around me for 20 minutes. There was no buck come in behind her. I started checking her out, and her rear end was roughed up. You could tell she'd already been bred. So eventually I just decided, you know what, it's getting close to our shotgun season. I want to put a little more meat in the freezer. She was offering me all kinds of shot opportunities, so finally I took one. You know, this time of year when you see a doe coming, you really start getting excited, because you think either there's going to be a buck right behind her, or shortly after she comes through there's going to be one coming through on her tracks. Well, that's exactly what I thought when this doe come down the field edge and jumped in the woods right with me. So for the first several minutes, I'm pretty excited to keep watching down the field edge, waiting for that buck to come. By the time she'd fed her way around to the backside of my tree, she'd already been around me for more than 10 minutes, and still no buck. There's nothing better than having deer feed right below you without a clue that you're even in their area. Now she gets out in front of me here. This is where I really start to think about shooting her, since I have not seen a buck yet. Now let's get back to our doe hunt. Like I said, once this doe got out in front of me, I just couldn't resist the opportunity to shoot her. She was offering me so many good shots, and she's looking pretty yummy. Now it's still early in the evening, and there's always that chance of a buck coming by on her tracks. So after I shoot her, I will wait and stay until dark. I'm gonna hold off a little bit before I get down. I got my flashlight. See if something else comes in.
Scent Blocker, the leader in innovation, has redefined tree stand safety forever. Spiderweb means freedom from straps, freedom from buckles, freedom from noise, weight, and hassle. Spiderweb, this changes everything.
In the pre-rut and into the start of the rut, I love using a decoy. I love watching the bucks react to it. I think I have several bucks that come into me because of it that would not come into just the calling without seeing another deer there. So the next hunt we're going to take you on is the first footage I got of me actually shooting a deer. I'm hunting over a decoy in Illinois. The rut's just getting started. We had some really warm days. We're leading into a cold front. This buck come in perfect, does some posturing. He puts on a great show and offers me a great shot, so I had to take it. It's November 6th. We got a front moving through today. Just brought a bunch of rain. We had to kind of lay off this morning because of some lightning, but we're out here now. Just got done pouring again. It's a little bit after 12. We're hoping this kicks these deer into
high gear. The warm weather had kind of slowed them down a bit, so we're hoping. Stick with us. We're going to get real aggressive on the calling now with this cold front coming through, so hopefully we get some action.
Well, at around 12:30 in the afternoon, I went through a rattling sequence. I had 2 year-and-a-half-old bucks respond to within 20 yards of my stand. Just not what I'm looking for at all. So with about 10 minutes of camera light left, I still hadn't seen another deer, so I let out a few grunts, and this buck stepped out into the field, seen my decoy, and started working his way right down to me. Once this deer closes the distance here, he starts to do a little posturing. It's one of my favorite parts of using a decoy during this time of the year. At this point, I am still in the mindset of not shooting this buck. But as he gets a little closer and starts sidestepping towards my decoy, I make one last move with the camera and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to take this deer.
Was that awesome or what, man? He isn't a huge buck by any means, but man, he come in and put on a show. That was awesome. Couldn't have got much better of a show than that, or a shot. I heard him pile up in there. That was awesome.
Well, right after I got done doing my interview, this year-and-a-half-old buck stepped out of the woods and circled around my decoy. I have this happen a lot using a decoy with multiple deer coming in around the same time. Well, we recovered the deer last night. It was dark when we recovered it, so we took some pictures of it this morning. Not the biggest deer, but still a nice white tail. It was a good hunt, good clean kill. Deer didn't go far. Right now we're going to show you a preview of a future episode with our very own Cameron Tank. Around here we just call him Tank, and man does he love to bow fish. So let's head back to this past summer in some northwest Illinois floodwaters and watch him shoot a bunch of carp.
Oh my gosh, this is the biggest common carp I've ever shot or caught, hands down. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Team Arrow, baby. That's awesome. Well, had a pretty good day out on the water, shot 13 fish in total. Got a bunch of smaller ones, and then we got the one big one. That thing has to be over 25 pounds. That's definitely the biggest fish, biggest common carp I've ever shot. I've shot some bigger fish, but definitely by far that biggest is the biggest common carp. Might be going back out tonight. Hopefully we can shoot some more. Thanks for watching.